Okay, our last shape that we're going to find the surface area for our solids is called a cone. You can imagine a cone manufacturer, who do the waffle cones. If you turn that upside down, that's the amount of material it would take to make that. Funnels, lots of different things for egg and so forth. So that's the type of occupation that would use something like this. So when we look at cones, remember the base of a cone is a circle. So of course we're going to have a radius of that circle. Okay, the sides are kind of the circular that comes up to this one point. The distance straight down to the center of that circle is the height. And then the distance sliding down the outside, when I slide down that slant height, this is going to be my L. Okay, so as before, we're not going to worry about just the lateral. Instead, I'm going to do the surface area, which is the area of the base, which is a circle, plus the side or lateral, and those two together will give me my surface area. So you can see again, there's only two things that we need to identify, the radius and the slant height. So when I come up here, and I'm going to write my formula so I can plug it in, I know over here, this is pretty straightforward. The radius is going to be 7, and the slant height, which is signified by the L, is 11.4. So I'm just going to take those two now and plug it into my formula. Pi, and then I have a radius of 7 squared plus pi times 7 times 11.4. Okay, so that's each of those pieces plugged in. So 7 times 7 is 49. Keep the pi with it, don't forget. 7 times 11.4 is going to be 79.8. Still have pi with it. When I add these two coefficients together, 128 pi, take it times, I'm going to get 404.64 square meters. Now there's a lot of ways that you can just plug that into the calculator and not have to write any of this down. But I just caution you that if you just start plugging in, a lot of times students will forget to multiply by pi. Okay, and so then obviously you're going to have the wrong answer. And something that should be fairly simple is multiplying three numbers, multiplying and adding those together. So just a word of caution. Down here again, we just have to identify the R and the L. Well, I think from the point, and if you have to turn it like this, do so. Going down the slant is 32.9. The diameter is 27. So if the diameter is 27, half that is going to be 13.5 for the radius. We already said the slant height was 32.9. I'm going to fill in my formula here. And again, you don't necessarily have to write down the formula every time, but I find it's good practice just so that you don't forget anything, because by the time we're done, you're probably going to have close to 20 different formulas, maybe not quite that much, but a lot of different ones between basic area, surface area, and volume. There's a lot of different formulas, so you don't get them mixed up. It's good practice just to write that all out. So R squared is going to be 13.5 squared times pi times R times L. Okay, so 13.5 squared is 182.25 pi. Multiply these two together, 444.15 pi. Add my two together here, 626.4 pi. Multiply that out, multiply this times pi, and you get 1,976.89. We're at millimeters squared. Okay, so if you have any questions about cones, please let me know.